Welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. Join hosts Dan Melnick and Qasim Masood as they explore big ideas, limitless possibilities, and engage with visionaries, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders who dare to dream big, get inspired, motivated, and find practical tips for personal growth. Think big, dream bigger, and ignite your potential.
All right, welcome to Big with Dan and Qasim. We have Mateen filling in for Qasim today, and our guest today is Christine. So, Christine, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, tell us what you do for a living and where you live.
All right. My name is McCarron. I am a multi-hatted person. I have a co-working space. I'm a real estate agent, investor, author, coach, blah, blah, blah. You know, I do all kinds of fun stuff, but mostly that's what it is. It's all things I love and enjoy. And right now I'm living in Tingsboro, Mass, which is about an hour north of Boston, Massachusetts. Was there any more questions?
Awesome. So how are you able to manage your time? You do all these different things.
Delegating. Right now I have 2 interns. I have lots of, there's more to it than that though, because anybody can delegate. But I also I don't watch television really to speak of. I don't, I get up early. Getting up early, I think, is key because you can get so much done before everybody else wakes up. And I'm good at saying no also to things. So I think those 3 things kind of combine to allow me to be pretty well balanced, have time to have fun, even though I'm having lots of passion.
Awesome. So in terms of the co-working space, how did you get this idea? And I guess also a follow-up question is, were you running it during COVID? And if so, what did that look like?
Yeah, I didn't. I just opened it in March of this year. Okay. And it's kind of interesting. I mean, I'd love to say, I just was craving community because of COVID and all this stuff. But actually, I just got the idea. Somebody had offered me to buy the house I was living in. And I said, well, if I sell that, what am I going to do? And part of that, it was a 2-family, so I needed to have something to invest in. So I just started looking for commercial property. And I found this place, and the agent had written right in there, would make a perfect WeWork style co-working space. And I was just like, oh, that sounds like fun. So here I am.
How have you gotten the word out? And I think also, so you mentioned WeWork, they're, obviously a very big player. How do you compete with them? How are you better than them?
WeWork doesn't have a presence in this area. For me, the competition is like Barnes and Nobles and Panera and Starbucks and stuff like that. And the big thing there is that, when you go in there, everybody's got their head down. They're all doing their own thing right there, right? I mean, anybody can give you Wi-Fi. But when you come in, when you join here, you get introduced to everyone else. We have after hours events. There's a real community component. It's actually called Beehive Community, and that's what it is. It's just it's sort of a community center. The sustainability committee has events here, and people have fundraisers here. It's not just a co-working space, which is, WeWork has a fun model too. That's their thing. Come here to get to know people and to have community and stuff. But like I said, there aren't any near here, so I'm the next best thing.
What does a typical day look like for you?
So I get up around 5, then I do some listen to stuff, motivational things and think spiritually things. I meditate, and then I'll eventually I get my butt to the gym and work out for about an hour, and then I come in here, open up the space, and then from there, all bets are on. I don't know what the day's going to look like after that. So I might have a networking meeting, because you asked me before how I get the word out, and that's a lot of it is just networking, getting to know people in town. So I have a lot of networking kind of meetings, including ones that we hold here, and I have a lot of podcast interviews with people from my 2 podcasts. So I do that, and then we're doing a lot of interviews because I'm also a real estate broker, and this is a new area for me. Nobody knows me here, so we're doing little interviews around town with business owners and kind of cool places around town, so that we'll have a page that says, if you're thinking of moving to this town, here's some of the cool people and cool stuff that's going on here. And so we'll do those during the day. I don't know, we'll do blog posts and stuff. It's just a lot of different kinds of crazy stuff. Then again, we might Wednesday, we had a lunch and learn with the Humane Society, and they brought dogs, and it was understanding your pet's body language. So we had these dogs running around, people explaining, oh, can you tell he's nervous because he's licking his lips, and he's, this is how you can tell that this is going on, and how to greet a dog. So that was a really fun thing. We'll have cooking classes. I mean, you name it. It's just
So what's the role of the technology in your current businesses you are doing?
we don't have any technology. You know what I mean? Like we have we have Wi-Fi. We offer Wi-Fi, which is we have a GigaFiles, but other than that, there isn't like we have lots of apps and stuff like that, but there isn't like a platform that we use for like booking and stuff. I mean, if you want to book a room, you're going to go to the website and it's just Calendly that's going to book it for you and collect the money and stuff like that. So we're very low tech, unfortunately. Like I would love to have like somebody come in and just like say, oh, I can make all this happen like this. And instead I'm like looking for a kludge for this and a kludge for that. It's a part of being old, I think, older.
So have you like thought about or looked into, I mean, we're a tech company, so we're always curious. Like, have you like look at technology, or you like even artificial intelligence, obviously is big. Like, have you thought about that for a co-working space?
Well, I use AI to start all of my blog posts and stuff like that. So for sure, it'll start off with, which is actually really fun, right? We'll say, all right, I want to, what are people worried about with co-working space? And then it'll be like, oh, distractions. Okay. So we'll say, write me a blog post about distractions. Then I'll say, okay, now take this and put it into the voice of this kind of person. And then take it and put it into another voice. And just like, and then I'll go in and change it to the end. So that finally, and I'll say, all right, AI and I wrote this blog post. What do you mean? What kind of stuff could we do around AI for the actual co-working space?
Yeah, I mean, like the way I see it is, so all these rooms, they can help, people make certain recommendations. So like high level chatbots and also data collection. So if people are asking questions, you're not available 24/7. Obviously, you're a human being, you're sleeping sometimes. So it's in the middle of the night or whatever time, and they could give answers. Because it basically, the cool thing about AI, what I've seen, is that it collects data in a way that like is specific for your business. So oftentimes most of the questions are frequent, and they can take those keywords. People are, oh, they're asking this, and it'll train the bots to answer the questions the right way. I mean, Amazon is using, I'm sure if you've done a return, or so can Amazon, they have very high level AI and machine learning. So that's the way I see it, even just like making booking more seamless. But yeah, it's that's the way I see AI in a co-working space.
It's interesting. You just reminded me of something that somebody said to me about AI. It's like, because as real estate agents, everyone's like, oh, will we be replaced by AI? And somebody said, so AI is not going to be smarter than you, but every time it learns something, it's going to tell all of its friends, right? So that's the thing. That's the power of AI. And I think it's really exciting. And I would love, because right, if my clients are asking a question, it's not necessarily just going to take answers that I've given, right? It can go to any co-working space in the world and say, wow, compile the best answer based on that. So I'm excited to hear how that could work, to think about how AI and even like virtual tours for homes and stuff like that. I mean, I thought of that. I mean, I invented it, right? I thought like years ago, wouldn't it be cool if a client could come into the office and literally tour multiple homes with their, good goggles on, and just like, open a closet and see what's in here. And, it's just save them time to say, okay, here's the 2 that I actually want to see in person now that we've toured these 10 sitting in the office. But, that requires obviously that there's a more upfront investment to do a better job cataloging and photographing home in the first place. It's coming next.
So what is the definition of success for you?
It's doing something fun and happy every day. Right. I mean, and okay, so there has to be a financial component to that, because you can't really have that kind of a happy, carefree life just doing things that are fun if you don't have some financial, cash flow or component, right, to allow you to do all the fun stuff. But I do find, for example, the co-working space fun, right? We're all in there, all the people who were in the office, and my interns and I were all there yesterday with the dog. I mean, Wednesday with the dogs running around. So, man, that's a blast to me. And planning events and all that stuff, that's really fun. But right now, the space is not making money. As a matter of fact, I have to pay to show up every day. So I couldn't do that if I didn't have that, the financial component. So I don't feel like I actually said to somebody yesterday, do you want another 0 or do you want or do you want a life? And sometimes that's the thing. People are just trudging after the money. I just need to, once I have $1 million in the bank, once I have $5 million in the bank, then can stop. Then I'll be happy. But you can't do that, right? So yeah, now I have $5 million in the bank, and then you drop dead the next afternoon of a heart attack. Well, yeah, that's not really a good plan.
So what's the biggest piece of advice you wishes you know when you started your career?
Oh, there's so many things I wish I had done differently, known, done better when I started. But the main thing is, I feel like my whole why I wasn't wildly successful at your ages, like as a younger person, is just this self-doubt, this like feeling like, oh, who am I to do this? Do I deserve this? I'm just from a lower middle class family. Everybody can see that I was poor and blah, blah, blah. But, people just don't give a crap. And if you just don't care about pleasing people, if you just like, am I happy today? Is what I'm doing making me happy today? Then everything else just happens. Everything else just flows when you're like, can say, yes, I am so happy and I'm giving back to people. I'm, doing things I love and making, just that's actually a good thing, giving back to people, because nothing feels better than giving back to your community, your people, like the peeps who you care about and stuff. So that's another big thing. Give first, right? You get that scarcity mindset and you're like, oh man, I don't have enough, but you have enough. Now share it and it just multiplies. Just somebody said to me, money is a liquid asset. You have to keep it moving, right? So you let it go and it comes back. You let it go and it comes back.
What would you say is your biggest priority for your co-working space in the next 3 to 6 months?
It would be still, I would like to say it's my priority to make it have a positive cash flow. But that requires, right, that people come, that they love it, that they want to come back, right? That they come to an event and like, oh man, I would love to work here. This is such a cool place. And, I feel so welcome here and I get more done because you've got like productivity tools and things like that. So I guess for more people to fall in love with the co-working space.
Awesome. So if we're going to have this conversation again in 1 year from now, what do you expect things to look like for your co-working space?
I expect it to have a sibling because eventually I want to have 4 of them. And so we're actually taking, if you want to duplicate something, you've got to know exactly how you did it. So I've got the interns like writing everything down. Like, how do we do this? What do we do to prepare for this? How does this work? What ways where did people come from, right? How did they find us so that you know how to do that? And of course, the first one's always the hardest because that's where you really have to keep getting the name out and talking about it. And then now people in surrounding towns will have heard of the space. And so if I open one in the surrounding town, they'll be like, oh, wow, we have our own Beehive. And then people coming here say, oh, you can work here or you can work over here. Oh, great. So that's having a sibling, at least one, because like I said, I want 4.
Awesome. So if somebody wanted to reach out to your business, what's the best way for somebody to reach out to you?
For me, chrismccarron.com is my website. And from there, you can pretty much you can find the Beehive, you can find the brokerage, you can find podcasts and pretty much everything from there. It's a little bit of work, but you can do it.
Chris, thank you so much for your time. It was great chatting with you, and we're rooting for you. And hopefully that we can chat again in a year from now to continue to scale your business, Beehive. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to that. Have a super day, guys.
Thanks, you too. All right, bye.